Well, hello to everyone. Welcome to our Thursday night training. My name is Brenda Reese. We have Rick Reese, who's going to be doing the training. Just to give you a little idea as to what's going to go on
Okay.
tonight. Welcome, everyone. We're going to do 15 minutes. Rick is going to get into training, and we'll have 15 minutes before the top of the hour to answer any questions that you might have. And if you want, you can go ahead and type your question into the chat box, and we have facilitators that will answer them if they can. If they can't, then we'll answer them within that last 15 minutes. We love to start promptly on time, and we love to end promptly on time. So welcome. And I'm going to turn it over to Rick. Rick, are you there?
I am. So good to have everyone. Shout out to Haru, the number one team builder. I think there's team builder sales. And so good to have everybody join us. You are going to absolutely love this training. This training is going to remind you why you came in to Surge 365. And so without any further ado, let's go ahead, as Brenda said, we'll jump right in. And then we've got some time at the end, about 15 minutes. We'll answer any questions that you may have. I'm going to go ahead and go here and let's bring it up. I certainly want to go ahead and mute your mics. Fantastic. And so you've got the folks that'll be still coming in. Ladies and
Brenda, we want to
gentlemen,
see
we're
your
in Surge
face.
365. And what we're going to do before we go over the nonprofits, I'm going to show you some of the uses, the many uses of Surge 365. And so let's go ahead and do that. Now, with the travel technology package, again, my name is Rick Reese. I am one of the founders of Surge 365 TravManity, and we're familiar with the travel technology package. Ladies and gentlemen, there is nothing out there that even comes close to what we have. First, we've got the travel advisors package, career opportunity in hospitality and tourism. As people are looking for jobs, people are going back to college. We've got the vortex. Now, you know that vortex is amazing because that's what we're using for fundraising and, of course, revenue generating. And then we've got the members program, and this is where we book. Save on your travel. And so we're going to go into a little more detail. Now, you may not have seen this slide before, but we actually have over 32 streams of income under the Surge umbrella. You can pick and choose. What would you like to do? You want the bonuses? You want the $10,000 bonus? You know, the $1,000 bonuses? You want to make money in travel? You want to make money overrides, residual? You basically can choose. Now, I'm going to talk about the different uses just to kind of just give you some ideas, get the imagination going. Think about this. The business you have right now, Surge 365 TravManity. Now imagine you opening it up as a family business. Every household needs Surge 365 as a family business at the minimum. And they can just get even one system because why? You got the membership program. With the concierge service, you can add up to 4 people. And so you may have people in the family that are traveling. How about everybody contributing to the family business? In that package, you have the vortex. How about the family saying, hey, you know what? Let's get this free link out to the world. Let our friends, family put it on social media. Let them book through the family vortex. And guess what? That money is coming back to the family. You may say, hey, we want to take some of that travel training. You know, sister may want to be, a SeaWorld specialist, a Disney specialist, a special needs travel specialist. Now imagine taking the training that the family members, based on what they want to do, take that training. It's free training. It's online family business. Of course, when people book through the Vortex, that's money coming in. Give that free link out, you know, and all those reward credits, along with the money from the Vortex. When people are booking their travel, imagine the family getting those deep savings through the members program. It's accumulating those reward credits at a family level. The family may say, hey, let's get a huge place where we can all stay to use that 7-night vacation stay. And of course, being able to get the tax benefits as a family. See, folks, we're moving into an era where we got to be smart. I want to leave you with on this. Imagine the family working this as a family business. You may have a site. Tell your friend, tell your cousin, tell your brother, your sister, hey, you can book on my site and you can save. Let's work this as a family business. And we can save. And some of them may recruit, some of them may share the opportunity. So now you're building income through the marketing side of the business as a family coming together. Ladies and gentlemen, as a family coming together. Every home needs Surge365. So imagine you talking to someone about the business and telling them that your family needs a family business that's going to bring some income in. Many uses of Surge365. The members program, giving us access to wholesale travel pricing, the discounts on lifestyle purchases, the ability to earn the vacations and on the customer purchases. And you don't hear this a lot lately, but those reward credits, bad to the bone, folks. We're earning reward credits on everything. Personal, imagine earning corporate level reward credits on organizational travel, church travel, corporate level reward credits. We're earning reward credits when somebody books through that vortex. Not only are we getting the money, but for every dollar they're spending, we're earning 1 to 3 reward credits. And you can use these reward credits for anything on the site. You can pay in cash through the members program, or you can pay with reward credits on any and everything. Look at this. Those reward credits, ladies and gentlemen, have a 10-year life. I bet you didn't know that. The reward credits are good for 10 years. Okay, so when we're talking to people, what do you need? What do you need? What keeps you up? You want to make more? You want to travel more? You want to save more? Are you looking for a career opportunity? How about fundraising? You want to build a business personal? You're looking for tax deductions? What's your commitment level? See, that's one of the most important things. Is it part-time? Is it full-time? Or is it big time? Now, I'm going to go through this pretty quickly, but we're talking about multiple uses of Surge 365. And the purpose of this presentation is to stir your imagination. We talk about the family travel business. Now, think about that travel technology package. Perpetual funding solution with that vortex for churches, for nonprofits, for schools, and we'll talk more deeply about that. How about business travel, turning travel expenses into revenue for business? Education, careers, multiple uses of the travel technology package. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a trade. The travel side of our business is actually a trade. Member discounts. Of course, we know about taxes. Whoo! Being able to lower your taxable income. Now, one of the greatest benefits I can tell you that I have received, and I'm sure many people on this call who have been in the business for a while have received, we've grown. The personal development in this business is amazing. Uses, multiple uses of this one program, and all that's under the umbrella, a home travel business. If you're a military vet, which I am, hats off, salute to you. But you need a stream of income. You need some sort of income coming in. Yeah, you get different benefits, but you want to create residual income. And then, of course, network marketing, unparalleled, unmatched, especially with that power line. Being able to get those referral commissions, being able to get residual income. Now, this is a big deal here. Special abilities, certification, special needs at sea, scootaround.com. That's a huge growing market. Another huge growing market is medical tourism. Folks are leaving the United States to go elsewhere to get treatments around the world. This is huge. And so you could work any of these areas. And we'll talk about virtual assistants. That's a huge career field also. In fact, there's an organization, ivaa.org, for virtual assistant. Okay. You can't beat this as a plan B. You can't beat it as a plan B. Our timing is right. Our positioning is right. Getting paid for fun. Vacations. Working from home. You can't beat it. Take control of your career, your income, your freedom. Truly the right place at the right time. You want that residual income. We have been getting residual income since 2005. Took us through 2008 when the economy did a little, took us through COVID. We're planning for the future, folks. There may be a crisis coming, but it's an opportunity for you. Multiple uses of Surge365. Now, this is huge. The tax deduction. We are independent contractors. I have a website, goteamget.com/SBA training. If you go there, you can download some serious information on things that you can write off on your taxes, including medical and all kind of stuff, folks. It just makes sense. It really does. But just in general, as an independent contractor, look at this. Car expenses and mileage, home office expenses. Now, I got to tell you, you got to talk to your tax professional. Supplies, health insurance premiums. Did you know that? Continuing education, cell phones, travel for business. That's why we take all them cruises. That's why we take all these trips. Folks don't understand. Parking, postage. Whoo! Employ your kids, all kind of stuff. Multiple uses to stir your imagination. Special needs travel is huge, the fastest growing segment in the travel industry. 24 million disabled Americans would travel if their needs were met. 40% of the baby boomers are going to retire with something. Folks, it's huge. Online special needs travel certification. Specialneedsatsea.com. I know everybody gets hit up by virtual assistants. What they need is a Surge365 business so they can expand into travel. So next time you get hit up by a virtual assistant, ask them, are you able to expand into travel, to book travel, to outsource? These companies are looking to outsource. Trucking companies are looking to outsource those activities of scheduling hotels and different things. And so 10 things outsourced to virtual assistants. Travel, research, and booking. Now, if you wanted to do that, you could actually advertise yourself as a virtual assistant that specializes in travel, event planning and research, bookkeeping, online research, data presentation, social tasks. See, there is no reason for a person to not be able to make money. to not be able to have something that employing themselves, a job with Surge365, because you have access to everything that can make you money. That's the organization, IVAA.org. Check them out. Check them out. Exciting new careers from home. As people are going back to college, the travel sector, $11.1 trillion. It's going to hit $15 trillion by 2030. While people are going back to college, this is putting them in a real trade, especially with Sarisa and the things that's happening now. Ooh, avoid thousands of dollars in tuition debt as people are going back to college, graduating, still can't get a job. There's people out there that have their degree that can't get a job. And here we are, travel. Years of classroom avoided, folks. Work from home. I know you know this because many of you are in Surge365 TravManity. Travel is the #1 U.S. export. 50% of home-based travel agencies. Look at those sales. There's money to be made, folks. You own a home travel business. We sell fun. Fun. Travel like an insider. Enjoy potential tax benefits. Get commissions on your own travel. See, that's why we got a smile on our face. Access to everything. You know, we don't have to store nothing. You don't have to own the fleet of 747s. We have access to all of it. Every industry. I was talking to some of the folks that live in the different islands, Puerto Rico, Trinidad. With their Surge 365 business TravManity, they don't have to get permission for access to the tourism industry, the #1 industry on the island. They have access not only to the island, but globally, a global business. In fact, the folks that are in travel on the island need to come into Surge 365. Access to all the training and support. And the great thing about it, no employees, no quotas, no inventory, no collections. So when we're talking career opportunities, remember vocational training? That was a big deal growing up. This is vocational training. Earn while you learn. What's your passion? What's your passion? Special needs? Wedding destination specialist, educational travel, Disney specialist. What's your passion? A cruise specialist, event planning? See, ladies and gentlemen, this is a tool that connects to the entire industry, 15 trillion, 11.1 trillion. Hotels, resort specialists, Holy Land, group tours. You want to focus on nonprofits? We got a whole little thing on nonprofits coming up. But this is a trade. I want you to respect it as a trade. In the past, we couldn't even get in. You didn't even know anybody that would let you in. We have opened up this industry to regular people like you and I. Vocational training, veterans, women, men of domestic violence that are in hiding, that need to work a business, active adults, schools. We do trade shows at school. You know, mothers that want to stay home with their kids. Rescue mission. I say I could take a person from the rescue mission, a homeless person, in Surge 365 TravManity, run them through Dress for Success, run them through how to interview, and then let them take the basic training, and then they can become a Hyatt specialist, a SeaWorld specialist, a Marriott specialist. And let's say Hyatt was having a hiring event downtown. Once they take these trainings online, they get certificates. I could put a portfolio together for that person, send them down to that hiring event and get them a job. Inclusive. You know how many people are on the spectrum? You know, neurodiversity travel. We talk about neurodiversity travel, helping families learn how to travel, helping the industry understand how to meet the needs of these families, helping travel agents understand how to meet the needs of these families. You make your own business. What I'm sharing with you today, there's no excuse for you not to make your own opportunity. The millennials who can't get jobs. Travel Agent Academy. Now, travelagentacademy.com. You want to go there once you've completed your first class training, you want to register, and it's going to give you access to all this specialist training. You want to be a Nassau Paradise specialist. You want to be a France specialist. You want to be an Arizona specialist. All the courses are basically on this site and sites like this. Another site, well, I don't have it up here. Another site is TBO Academy, TBO Academy. Or you can become a Disney travel specialist. When you go into your TravManity back office, you've got all of the different folks you can register to become specialists for, including cruise specialists. So let's talk a little bit about business before we jump into the churches. And we're going to open it up at the end for some question and answers. There's a lot of business travel. And so you've got serious expenses, truly an untapped source of revenue for businesses. Every time that company is booking an air, hotel, or rental car, event, limousines, everything, folks, business. Oh, I put the slide in the wrong place. Okay, so this was the slide on the special needs. It was actually supposed to come before the business. But sign up for special needs at sea and become a travel advisor with them. It'll give you access to the scooters and the power chairs and the wheelchairs, and you'll get a certificate. If you have your church, this is a great certificate to advertise with your church. If you have a business, we have one lady that did therapies, and she advertised her certificate so that people would know that she reaches out to folks who have special needs. You know, if you have a convention or a conference, in the registration, you can put in there, do you need a motor scooter? Do you need a power chair? Do you need oxygen? In the registration, they will deliver this equipment to the hotel, to the venue. Powerful, powerful stuff, folks. But yeah, businesses. Here's how they're doing it. They're charging agencies, travel agencies, if you can find them, and they have some corporate ones, a transaction fee, $20 to $60. Corporate rate determined by the size of the company, gross dollar amount, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Online travel agencies, many anymore, these businesses are saying, hey, just go online, go to Expedia, Booking.com, and book, and then give me the receipt. Now that money is not coming back to the company. But check this out. The revenue through the vortex. Turn travel expenses into revenue. So imagine if you're a business and you give that free vortex link out to all your employees and say, hey, consider this link, at least let it be one of the links you check to get a lower price. Use it if it's a lower price. The business earns 100% of whatever they save. And it's lower rates 90% of the time. Get rid of the agency fees. Bringing that money back, 100% of the savings comes back. And you talk about accountability. There's 3 reports from the Vortex that are generated. One report when they sign up, a list of all the folks that sign up. The second report is the commissions that are due the company or the organization or individual when they book. What commissions are due? All trackable. And then the third report is when they send you a check. And so that's huge for businesses as well as organizations, the accountability. The great thing about it, the employees can use it for their family. They can use it for friends. They can give the link out. Hey, here's a link. And that money comes back. It may be for the Christmas party. It may be to have, whatever they need for the company, for the employees, whatever it could be. But that revenue is coming back. And everybody can give that link out. And it doesn't have to be just for business travel. It could be just for family personal travel. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Resurrection Life. Resurrection Life is a church that came on board, Surge365, out of Buffalo, New York. Resurrection Life has the largest food pantry in Buffalo, New York. Okay. And their vision is to have a grocery store. Imagine that, to have a grocery store where people can come in and shop. And so they want to use the vortex to generate revenue that could help them, build this grocery store. But they just did something the other day also, using the travel side of the business. They're going to Noah's Ark, that big old ark, as a church trip. And they booked it through Diamond Motor Coach, I believe it was. And they've got almost like 60 people going. And they booked it through their TravManity site. The commission is going to the youth group. And so that was really interesting because we were really actually just talking to them about the vortex and, fundraising opportunities with the vortex, but they've expanded it to use the travel program and to get the commissions. See, we need to do this within our churches because our ministries need money. Our communities need money. But let's talk about it. What's your vision? What's your cause? What's your ministry? What's your calling? Do you need funding? Well, your struggle is over. Our new funding program provides a fresh, consistent stream of funding for virtually any organization, church, school, or business. Now imagine your members and supporters booking their personal and business travel 24/7 and you earning when they say. Truly, it's a win-win. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Fundraising with the Vortex. Now, Resurrection Life, some of the program highlights as we were sharing with the leadership. Truly, it is a stewardship opportunity. The money is flowing in the wrong direction. As the whole church is booking online, the money is flowing away from the church, should be flowing to the church. Generate an ongoing revenue stream requires minimum administration. Just point them to the site. It's non-contractual. If it's working, you keep going. If it's not, you simply stop. They're getting 100% of the savings. That is crazy. Why give that money to Expedia? Expedia makes billions of dollars. There's no quotas, there's no minimum, no blackout date. And they're even getting those reward credits. Now, if you're doing this for the church, it's not about really the savings at the beginning, although you want to set that in place. The biggest thing is the registration. So you want to start it with the registration for the Vortex campaign. Informing community, business members, supporters of the cause, share the Vortex link, invite customers to open up the free Vortex account. They got to be registered. If they're not registered, they normally will just impulsively book anywhere. But the campaign starts with registration. And I don't know if you know this, but in the SBA back office, you can send out virtual Vortex invitations. And we've got the church. One of the administrators in the church is putting first name, last name, email address, letting the congregation know that this Vortex link is coming. Make sure you activate it when you get the email, but it's an easy way just to send out the invitations. And of course, they can book on the Vortex. Where's the money going? Whoa. Expedia, gross bookings, 2025. Is it possible that we could get a share, harness and redirect some of that $119 billion? Is it possible? Yes. See, you got to understand, the Vortex is access to global money. Somebody in China could book through the Vortex going to London, not even come to the United States, because they got that Vortex link on social media, and save $100. And that $100 goes to you where you sit right now, goes to the organization, the church, the island church. You have something that connects to the global money system to harness and redirect wealth, except for market share. Now, I did this a while ago, but I wanted to compare. I want you to do this also. 99.9% of the time, if you go to Expedia and you look at the Vortex, you're going to find what I'm finding here. The Ramada Plaza, July 6th through the 12th, and this actually was last year. Well, look at this. The Ramada Plaza, $716. Okay. And so I pulled it up. I went all the way to the end. That's what you see on the right here for the price details, $716. And I do this because I want to confirm something. I want to see if what we have is accurate. And so I went to the Ramada Plaza through the Vortex. Yep, I opened up my own free Vortex link. Open up your Vortex link so you can see what the customer sees. Same duration, the 6th through the 12th. Now, the Vortex is going to show you the public price, the Expedia price, the Priceline price. That's a set price. It's called parity. Everything in the open space of the industry, open door of the industry has to honor parity. That's why you can't research and find prices lower over here, lower over there. They got to honor it. We are password protected so we can pass on our savings. But look, so it shows you that 716. That's what I wanted you to see. Now look at the savings through the Vortex. Are you kidding me? $144. Through the Vortex, you earn 100% of whatever is saved. So imagine this person getting the free Vortex link, complimentary, them going to the Ramada Plaza Resort and Suites, Orlando, them not paying 716 but paying through the Vortex 573, including taxes and fees, saving $144, and then you getting a check for $144. Success. Success. And not only that, reward credits rolling up to you. So you got the reward credits coming, you got the money coming. Imagine doing that corporately. It's powerful. Click in order, perpetual passive fundraising. So let's say, as we approach, the holiday season, fall season, school's out, fall break, all that, Christmas, New Year's, 50 hotel bookings. And let's say average $50. That's $2,500 plus the reward credits. Let's say 500 hotel bookings. Same. That's $25,000 plus reward credits. Okay. Let's say 3,500 hotel bookings, which is absolutely doable. $50 average, $175,000. See, this is access to global wealth. I want you to understand, this is access to global wealth without asking for permission. And so, truly is the ultimate fundraiser. If only 20% of the member base of these organizations took one trip, generating the $50. If you're a ministry of 1,500, just 20% of that, 9,000. 20% of the 10,000s of an association, that's $60,000. 20% of the 80,000 as a nonprofit, that's $480,000. $480,000. 35,000 members. 20% of that number is $1 million. Access. Explore, save, and give back. Join our Vortex platform. Embark on a journey of impact with our innovative, perpetual, hands-free fundraiser. Support our fundraising campaign effortlessly by booking your travel through our online Vortex travel platform. Why customers choose the Vortex travel platform? Save up to 60%, 80% of the time. Seamless giving. Every trip you book contributes to our cause, turning your travel into meaningful change. You know, the consumer dollar can solve any problem on this planet. People united behind the cause. Endless opportunity from hotels and cruises to experiences. Your bookings fuel our perpetual fundraiser, ensuring a continuous stream of support for our community outreach. We need money in our communities. We need money in our ministries. We need money in our families. Start your journey with purpose. Choose our Vortex travel platform. Become a catalyst for change. Unlock exclusive pricing. Book today. Let your adventures leave a legacy of compassion. Book, explore, impact. So how does this work? How does it work? Okay, you sign up, join our community, create your secure Vortex account. Now, when people sign up, they sign up through the Vortex, but then they get an email with a confirmation activation link in it. And folks be like, I don't know, it never works for me. I can't log in. Okay, you got to click on the activation link in the email, then log in. Book, choose from a vast array of travel options. It's all the options that are out there. People would be asking me, do you have this? Of course, of course. And then give back. A percentage of your booking automatically supports building this grocery store. Our outreach programs, no extra steps, just a world of good on every journey. Now, here's a return for you, customer, person who books. Exclusive discounts. Enjoy special offers and discounts on your travel as a token of our appreciation. Feel good travel. Explore the world of knowing that your journey is making a positive impact. Cost conscious giving. Support our nonprofit effortlessly without any extra effort or expense on your part. That's huge. And so, Res Life, the campaign, travel fundraiser, campaign goal, $100,000, got a duration, and they've got different programs they're going to support. Now, here's something that's interesting, though. The congregation is not moved by savings. The congregation is moved by vision. What do you want to accomplish? What is the end game? We want a grocery store that people can just come in and shop. And we want to open that up to the community, from us to the community. You know, we already have the largest pantry. What can the folks emotionally get buy-in to that you're trying to accomplish? It's not savings. Savings is not necessarily a motivator, but it's something that's an emotional tag. You know, we need a community outreach program. We need to reach out to the seniors. What is that thing that is the emotional tie where everybody will say, okay, yeah. I'm going to make a consumer decision to do this, to at least research and see if this saves me money. And if it saves me money, I'm going to do it because it's supporting a cause that I believe in. Okay. Overriding the return to travel. That's all we're doing. So the kickoff campaign for Res Life. Now they've already actually done this. They assigned a campaign manager. They've identified that emotional tie. You know, here's why we need to raise this money. Here's why you need to make a consumer decision to support us. And here's how much money we want to raise. Now, that all begins with the sign-up campaign. We want to get 100 people signed up before the end of this month. We want to get 500 people signed up at the end of 3 months. We want to get 1,500 people signed up, da 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 da. Get people signed up first. The sign up campaign is first. Okay. Setting the goals for the sign up is first. Number one. Complete that sign up campaign. Now promote. Yeah, we got fall break coming. Where are these families taking their kids? We've got the holiday season coming. We got Cyber Monday, Friday, good, what is it? Shopping Friday, Cyber Monday, all of this stuff. Hey, be in place prior to the activity. Why let everybody else make all this money? You got a tool that gives you access. And the church actually reminded me it's not just the vortex. They're using the travel agency and the bus tours and all the different things to earn commissions. And so you may have a committee that sits down and it looks at the members program, it looks at the vortex, it looks at the travel agency. And with you there or someone there, say, okay, here are some opportunities with these three products, these three major products. And it may not be a church that says, I want to just sponsor people opening up everything to my church and just, blowing up the church, trying to sponsor everybody. It may be that happening organically. There may be a few people that says, hey, I want one. I travel a lot, you know, and so you're not just blowing up the church. We've seen that a lot in the past where we converge on the church and everybody comes in and everybody's, scoping out folks as they walking through the door and tackling people and getting in fights and all kind of craziness. Start with the product and let it organically grow, and so the sister church may see that it's working and say, hey, I want to come on board. And another sister church or brother church, hey, I want to come on board. A community organization, hey, I want to try that, you know, and let it grow like that. As I'm wrapping up here, the benefits generate funds from an existing network of members and supporters, get paid for performance and productivity. Hey, Expedia can make 119 billion, except for market share. There go us. Low participation rate still produces significant revenue. The accountability is huge. Trackable cash rewards. Online booking and changes are handled directly with the travel vendors. The organization is not in the travel business, but they can work directly with those vendors. Travel cash rewards are paid by the travel vendors, not the supporters. So it's not a jacked up price. This has given us access to the lowest prices and earning the commissions from the lowest prices. And I like this. If you've ever worked a fundraising program, it'll make you tired, extremely tired. This requires no management overhead. It's not contractual. If it's working, you keep going. If it's not, you simply stop. No long-term commitment. So let's get the church going. Let's get the organization going. Let's get the person going. Let's say the travel technology package includes the Vortex, the travel advisor access, the members program, and so much more. $4.99. You can't beat $4.99. One time, lifetime, $99, $99.95 a month. Wow. Then, of course, the junior exec program, monthly fee. Sometimes we take a look and say, okay, let's just bring them in, with the travel technology package. Then, if there's an organization or whatever that wants to come in, then we can open. Hey, only way you can bring them in is with the junior exec. And so that's a call that you make. Once they come on board, launch the Vortex fundraising registration campaign. And we've got the answers, folks, to so much. And you can focus on the area that really touches your heart, pricks your heart. In summary, tough times don't last, tough people do, and we are tough. We're not playing at this. Travel is the hope for economic recovery. Gather your circle of friends, put together that team, open up your travel business, if you choose, to your family. Sometimes that's the only way you can get them to use it. Hey, it's a travel business. You want to save money on your travel. I'm just going to give you this for free. We're going to put your name. We could add up to 4 names. We're going to put your name. And as we know, timing and positioning is everything. You know, we used to have this as a slogan, and I believe we still do because it's still appropriate. Healing nations. Healing nations. Trinidad, Puerto Rico, nations, U.S., all the nations of the world. Healing nations with vacations. Thank you for coming. Okay, folks, that's what we do. That's what we do. And so we're going to open it up. Good to have everybody here. Give yourselves a hand. Again, my name is Rick Reese. We've got Brenda here. And we want to open it up if anyone has any questions or anything that they'd like to ask at this time. The floor is open. Debbie Yates, congratulations. All the awards, boy, that you won in Puerto Rico. Man, you're on mute.
I got it.
She's good. Go ahead.
Hey, that was
Hey.
amazing. I loved it. So good.
Good to
Thank
see you,
you.
my Airbnb buddy.
Yes, Airbnb buddy. Hey, I love your little icon picture.
Oh, okay, cool. There you go.
My gosh, I think that this is going to be the greatest thing ever to try to really approach people. I would like to be able to use your presentation.
Sure. Absolutely.
Sure.
Beth!
Yeah. Oh, another Airbnb buddy.
Hey,
Guys,
Beth.
Hey.
Hey, I want to introduce.
Definitely. Go ahead.
I have a new person on, Becky Dietrich. She's on. She's in California. I'm trying to get her hooked into meetings out there.
Oh,
Awesome.
great. Hey, Becky, welcome, welcome.
Awesome. We've
so I
got
have a
Mary.
quick question on
Go
the
right
same
ahead.
thing. So what do you find the best way, if you don't have a contact? My grandson is in band, and every year they do a band trip. So this is an excellent opportunity for them because he's always sending me fundraiser stuff. Um, do reaching out to, well, in his case, I might have an in, but say a local band, reaching out to the band teacher, the band director, who do you think would be and what would be the best way to reach out to that type of person?
It really depends. It may be the booster club.
Okay.
It really depends because relationships are everything. And this only works through relationships.
Okay.
Otherwise, they don't trust you, they don't believe it, they don't. And then once you have a relationship, that's when you can have someone like myself or someone that knows basically just share with them. We have a link that I created, passporttogiving.com, passporttogiving.com.
I think I wrote
I'll
that
put,
down
let's see,
when we were together.
PASSPORT. And I'm not sure if I used a two or a two. I think I used two, giving, BING.com. Passporttogiving.com. Take a look at that. And it's a short little presentation
You put
on
it in
how
the
we
chat. It's
use
in the chat right now.
it's in
Okay.
the chat. And but it begins with a relationship. You got to have a relationship. So, and that's the only way. So once you have a relationship, then you can connect them to even myself or someone that can just talk to them basically what it's all about.
Okay.
Because otherwise they don't believe you. And I may start doing presentations for churches and pastors and organizations. And so, depending on how that goes.
We'll
But
see. Your plate's
yeah.
pretty full. We'll see.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my manager. My manager keeps me straight. Okay, yeah. Hey, Chris, did you
You
have a
know,
question?
Hey, good morning, Rick. Hey, I just had a
Chris.
comment on Beth there. Uh, we go through that. My son has the same issue. The issue we found on this particular situation is um, each student would have to have their own account. The school can't divvy it up among the students fairly, I guess. I do know that's one issue we ran into here. I went ahead and just created my own fundraiser for Caden through my account. So you know, if people book on it, it's just going to go to his band trip.
That's
Okay.
why it may be better with the Booster Club because they're
Yeah,
overall.
because the booster
Right.
could do it as their own nonprofit.
Hmm.
That's a good door too, also for all the sports
Uh,
teams.
Another good angle is the PTA.
Ah,
True.
They're kind of your window into the school.
great.
So talking to your PTA meetings or going to your PTA is a good way to go.
Mary, while you're on, Mary's just awesome. She's just amazing. Talk a little bit about neurodiversity travel and how
So
you are doing that.
so what I did based off my own experiences, I have two special needs children, and is I've created a checklist. And so I teach travel agents, and then I also work with hotels and other organizations to not just look at just like the generic sensory kits, it's creating that package. It's asking the right questions so you know what sensory issues they have, what food issues they have. So, like my son is a good example. He only let his comfort food is Jack's pizzas. Well, you can't get them at a hotel. But if you talk to the hotel, they will be willing to accommodate that and keep them in the freezer and have a pizza oven available for you if you just talk to them about it. Things like that, plus smells, lights, making sure they're on the bottom floor in a quarter, not on the top floor, so that the person below doesn't hear thud, thud, thud all night long. Many different areas. It just depends on what you need, but I give you the links to visual schedules to create those visual schedules from the airport to the hotel to what you're going to do to be able to ask all the right questions to get all the answers. And a lot of times you don't realize the answers to the questions as a parent until you end up in that situation.
So one of the
Yes.
things that's interesting about the whole thing, like Mary's doing, she has two special needs children, and this is a profession that she has, actually. And we're adding travel to the profession as a
Yes.
multiplier. If you're a photographer, we're adding travel to the profession that you may want to do destination weddings, or you may want to have access to the ships. And so whatever the person's profession is, think about what happens when you add travel as a multiplier to it, to give you access. And it may be something as simple as even for myself, Brenda and I left the workforce in 2005 because we wanted to serve in the community. And the travel business created a stream of wealth that freed us up to serve in the community so that we didn't have to go back to work. We haven't gone back to work. That's 2005. So you may have a passion to do something. How can travel be a multiplier to it? If you're looking at the travel technology package and you're looking at, okay, I really like the idea about the family, opening up the four to the family. It's like, okay, can you support us? If you need to travel, I've got the savings, I got access to the family savings. I can put your name in and then they'll get used to it, you know, and you'll draw them in more and more. Now, Debbie, before we jump off, what award did you get? The highest?
Well, I got
Got the
the
money award.
well, I did have the highest sales and the highest bookings, but I got the award for TravManity, the Ken Sorensen Tribute
Yeah.
Award.
Mhm.
So how did you do that? Just for the folks who say, hey, I want next year to get that award for selling more travel than anybody else in the company. What did you do? And I know
Well,
the inside
it
story.
goes back into relationships. I have
Yeah.
been a long time volunteer in our community theater. That's how I met Beth. But our church, I got into their church, and I've now had a couple different group bus trips. And I'm even thinking about going. This is a 5,000 member church, and I'm thinking maybe I should go a different approach, do the whole church thing, and let them make money instead of just one little bus trip. But it's all about the volunteering. And then I live in a 55 plus community that helps.
Yeah.
But I'm on the travel committee and I created a newsletter, but anybody can create groups. And I don't care if you live in a travel community or not. I mean, a 55 plus, you can just create bus trip groups or group cruises and then create your own newsletter. And maybe you only end up with 6 people on your cruise because a group, I mean, for you to get a free cruise, it's like 7 cabins or maybe 8 cabins, but you can still have a small group. And then the next time they'll have such a good time, they'll tell their friends you'll have a bigger group.
Yeah,
But the
start off small.
but the bus trips, you do have to have 20 people. So otherwise you'll have to cancel. But now Beth and I are going together. And sometimes if I don't have enough, she's in another 55 plus community. We're going together to try to make sure we have enough for every bus trip. So
So
Awesome.
Well,
there's
and because like I have a trip coming up next month, and a big portion of the folks on the trip to make enough people came from Debbie's referral.
Oh, nice.
She referred a couple, and they're bringing 2 other couples with them.
Mhm.
nice, nice. This is our first time actually doing this training, and I think it's going to be a great training because we want to demystify the secret.
I
People are like,
love
how
it.
do I do this? How do I do that? How did Debbie do that? Debbie spent a lot of time prior
Yeah.
to establishing relationships and doing this and volunteering, and but we want to give some insight into how things are done using the tools of Surge 365.
Mhm.
You know, whether it be the family, whether it be what Debbie's doing, whether it be what Resurrection Life is doing. And I know we've got some people on this call that have different experiences. And one of the things we'll do on this training every Thursday, we welcome you to share your experience of how you're using Surge 365. We've got the best business out there, folks.
We do.
There's nothing that even comes close to what we have.
Mhm.
And but because people don't know, it's not just recruiting, even though that's a major portion of it, and that power line is very powerful. You could actually hit the power line through organizations.
Mhm.
You get the power
True.
line by business through businesses. You can hit the power line by doing something corporate. And I do a lot at the corporate level. In fact, my company at the corporate level has a Surge 365 site. And so we're going to do a lot at the corporate level in corporate travel. And that's when you just knock the socks off of it, all of it. So we'll have
Wow.
people on this call. And I love what Mary is doing as we have 2 minutes. I love what Mary is doing with neurodiversity travel. That is so incredible. She's showing families how to travel. She's working with the vendors to show them how to accommodate these families. And she's working and raising up travel agents who can work with these families and the vendors as well as duplication. That's huge. That's huge. And so we've got some great ideas, from the folks even on this call here. Travel plus whatever profession equals what? Yeah. Anybody else before we jump off?
Well,
Yes,
one
Rick.
good thing is, Rick, it is that, people who are starting their own business, especially like the coaching industry and things like that, you're worried about getting that next client, worried about getting that next paycheck in, and that's where I got into travel was in the autism world, families don't have money.
Mhm.
I'm never going to make a lot of money. So you use travel to subsidize what you're not getting. So you're not always following the next paycheck. And it
Absolutely.
helps
One
you get off
second.
your grounds.
1 second, Mary. I got Big Mike from Trinidad on. Big
Right.
Mike with wellness and travel plus wellness is just take over the world. Excuse me, Mary. Big Mike, you got to say a few words before we jump off here.
Oh my gosh. I want to say good night to you and good night to everybody that is on here. It's a really, real pleasure. I've been jumping from Zoom to Zoom today. And but it's good to be here. I didn't want to miss this training. I had to jump off one Zoom to come onto this training. And it's a really, real pleasure, to meet people who not just doing the business, but people who love the Lord, and move by the Spirit of God. It's such a big thing. I felt just coming on. I knew that the presence of God is in this meeting. I want to thank God for this. That's a
Amen.
yeah.
All
Amen.
righty, thank
On
you.
that note, Brenda Reese.
All righty, listen, guys, it is top of the hour, and I believe about being on time. So we will be here next week, same time, like I say, same back channel. Join us, top of the hour, and we're going to end top of the hour. So everyone have a great rest of your evening, and we look forward to seeing you all next week.